What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Second Passport. Today we're going to cover the biggest mistake new arrival expats like myself, I made this mistake as well, make when we are trying to get an Ecuador driver's license. Well, the biggest mistake we can make, and I made as well, is if we move to Ecuador for a while and we think, I don't need to drive. There's tons of cheap taxis and buses around. And so we don't bother getting the Ecuador driver's license and we let our home country license expire, which is what I did, right? Big mistake because then, right, when you let your home license expire, it gets way tougher to get the Ecuadorian driver's license. I had to retake the whole driver's ed course. I was with a bunch of 17, 18-year-olds in a driver's course for the second time in my life, right? In order to qualify to get the Ecuadorian driver's license when I decided later on that I did, in fact, want an Ecuador driver's license and I wanted to buy a car and drive in Ecuador. Don't assume you won't want to drive forever. Make sure you get that Ecuador driver's license even though maybe right now you don't have plans to get a car or drive. So definitely consider that. So this is one of the first things you should do when you move to Ecuador. And it's actually quite easy. Ecuador has a process for new arrivals, immigrants or expats, whatever you want to call them, to transfer their home license to get an Ecuadorian driver's license much easier, right? And you don't have to give up your home license in order to do it. You can still keep it. But what they want to see I literally took this here in December 2021, entering 2022, took the requirements right off the wall of the ANT, the Agencia Nacional de Tránsito, or the DMV here in Ecuador. So this is what you need. Basically, you need to get all these requirements together, which we'll cover real quick here, and then go to the ANT office, is what they explained to me. And they will give you a little ticket that you take to the bank, and you have to pay the fee, which is $142. And then they will give you an appointment to come in and take a multiple choice only written test, which you need to pass, but you have several chances to try to pass it. And it's super easy to study for, which we will cover right now, how to. And then bing, bang, boom, with all these things and passing the written test, they give you, it's happened to me, they give you the driver's license pretty much right then and there. So what you need to bring is obviously a copy of your cedula. So you need an Ecuadorian cedula or ID card and residency before you can get an Ecuador driver's license, which makes sense, right? And then you're also going to need your passport and copies as well. And you're going to need a psychosensometrical exam, which is super easy to get at any driver's school in Ecuador. One that I went to was the ANETA. And you just go in and say you need this examen for the driver's license, and they do it in 5 minutes. You have to put this thing around, and then you turn a wheel, and they just want to make sure that you have your physical motor skills still. But it's super easy to pass, right? And they also test your hearing and sight, I think. And then with that, then you need a blood test done at the Cruz Roja or Red Cross in Ecuador real quick, and they give you a little card that you're going to need. Your Certificado de Movimiento Migratorio for any immigration thing that you need to do in Ecuador. You got to go to the immigration office and get this certificate. It takes 5 minutes, called the Movimiento Migratorio. It just shows your immigration movements in and out of the country in the last few years. And then you need this. Obviously, you need your driver's license from your home country. But it says here you need a certificate of license apostilled or possibly you can get it here. It says from the embassy, from your own home embassy. So talking to the embassy, maybe you can get that cleared up a little bit as far as what you need. And it also says if the certificate of driver's license is in another language, you're going to need it translated to Spanish. And then you need to take the test, and that's it, right? That's literally all you have to do. If your current license from another country is still valid, that's the key. Make sure it's still valid when you do this. Otherwise, the process gets way more complicated, okay, to get an Ecuadorian driver's license. So don't make the same mistake I made. And how can you study for this test? I know what you're saying, you don't speak Spanish that good. Well, there's these simuladores online, simulators, ANT 2021 driver's license exam. And you can take it as much as you like, and it's just word association. Remember high school, those social studies, multiple choice tests we used to have that we all used to study for like maybe 20 minutes and then ace and then forget everything about 10 minutes later? Well, it's similar. But you've been driving your whole life. You know this stuff. It's just word association, right? So like, here's the first practice question. And you can just go and you click and you keep going through these, and it'll tell you how many you got wrong and right and which one's wrong and right. And they're the same exact questions on the test. They put 20 questions or so on the real test from a database of like 400 that you can study for. So if you put a few hours into it, pretty much anyone can do it, right? And a lot of words in Spanish are very similar to English too. So I mean, to read the spoken words a lot easier than speaking it, and you don't have to listen or speak it on the test in order to pass this thing. So don't worry too much. And there's a lot of photos on here too, so it's very visual as well, just like real driving is. So like, ¿qué significa la línea continua amarilla pintada al borde de la calzada de una vía? Okay, now a lot of us can infer what this means, right? By just knowing a few Spanish words. Amarilla is yellow. So just knowing the word yellow and seeing this picture, what does the yellow line mean? The solid yellow line mean on the edge of the road, right? Easy. Option 1 is the left limit for the lane of circulation. It means parking. It means one way. What do you think? How long have you been driving? Option 1. ¿Cuántos puntos de su licencia? Now, this is a tricky one, right? This is one you're going to have to study. I'm not going to lie. ¿Cuántos puntos de su licencia de conducir perderá si invade con su vehículo las vías exclusivas asignadas a los buses de transporte rápido? Okay, now, puntos. This you kind of have to, this is one of the only things, there's a lot of signage questions, which are pretty easy, but there are a few unique to Ecuador signs, so you're going to have to study that. But a lot of them are pretty similar to the US. But puntos de la licencia. This is kind of a unique to Ecuador thing, where when you're given a license in Ecuador, you have a certain number of points or puntos, right? And as you commit infractions, they lower your point total and you gain the points back over time. But if you go to 0 points, you literally lose your license and you'll have to wait a certain amount of time and then reapply for the license. So that's how it works here in Ecuador. And they're asking how many points would you lose, perderá, right, if you invade, literally, with your car, the lanes for buses only. This is to show you how easy most of the questions are. And you don't have to get 100%. I forget what you need to get. It's like 80 or 90%, but you don't need 100. So you can miss a few of these. It's been a while since I took the driver's license test. What type of sign is this, right? Bicyclist, gymnast, or tourists. Watch out for tourists. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button below to be notified of more videos just like this. Ring the bell next to the subscribe button. Take care.